All right, won't you be happy when the first round actually starts and then 10 selections are made and the 49ers go on the clock? I think everybody will be, speculation will be over, and then we'll see what actually happens. And obviously, before the 49ers selected number 11, there we will be those 10 picks, and there promise to be some surprises or at least some just some finality as far as, where these guys are slotted and which players have been chosen and which players will be available when the 49ers go on the clock. Thanks for tuning into this video. This video is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery, located in Moraga, and also a new location at the Livery in Danville. So stop by there. It's a great space. It'll be really good when the weather turns warm, great outdoor space. They have a fine menu of beer selections as well as the tasty bites on the menu. Canyon Club Brewery, something there for the entire family. And I would say a pretty good chance after the draft wraps up on Saturday that I'll be stopping by there for just a nightcap, unwind before heading home. Okay, so talking about the NFL draft, and one thing just to kind of bring you up on how this all works. So Thursday is round one, 1 through 32, and each team gets 10 minutes to make their selection in round one. Round two and round three will take place on Friday, and that will be 7 minutes for the second round per selection, and then 5 minutes for every round from three through six, and then the final round, round seven on Saturday. Saturday is when rounds four through seven occur, and that will be 4 minutes per selection. Okay, so here's my question. When I started doing my mock draft and looking at other people's mock drafts, for the longest time, Mason Graham and Will Campbell. Mason Graham, defensive tackle for Michigan, often thought of as the best defensive tackle in this draft class. Will Campbell, often thought of as the best offensive lineman in this draft class. There does seem to be this temperature turning that it doesn't seem like it's too far out of the realm of possibility that either of those players, maybe even both of them, might still be available when the 49ers select at number 11. Now, just to kind of show you, my mock draft, I've done seven of them now, no, six of them. And so this is where I've had Mason Graham going in my mock drafts. I've had him going 5, 6, 5, 8, 5, 6. So in my last mock draft, I had him going to Las Vegas uh, at number 6 overall. No, take that back. I had them going. No, that's right. Yeah, had him going to Las Vegas at number 6. Will Campbell, who is a very productive offensive tackle, left tackle at LSU, he was seen as pretty clearly, I think, the number one offensive lineman in this draft. And then Armand Mimbu blew up at the combine with the physical traits. You had um, Campbell measure in at 32 and 5/8 inches arms, which is below the standard that a lot of NFL teams use for determining whether a guy is an offensive tackle or pushed inside the guard. 33 inches is kind of seen as the low on that. Now, his arms did measure at 33 inches at his pro day, but still 32-inch arms. And, you can hear it both ways. Some people say, some coaches will say that arm length definitely is an issue for left tackle, for tackle in general, while other teams might make an exception if a guy is just, if the film just is really good. And to Will Campbell's credit, or at least to his evaluation process, at least he's played against some really good players in the SEC. So there is that film out there. But let's just say that both of those players are available. What would the 49ers do at 10 or at 11 after the first 10 picks? My thought would be that Mason Graham would certainly be in play as the best defensive tackle theoretically in this draft. I would think that that would be the way the 49ers could go. He's a guy that, the wrestling background, Just a really productive player, disruptive player. And with the 49ers having that as a major need, I would think Mason Graham would be the pick at 11. Um, and then what about Campbell? I don't know that that would be the case with Campbell because I think what the 49ers have to do and what they've said is basically their stated goal with offensive linemen, unless he is a special player, then you take the playmaker or somebody on the other side of the ball. And so, would Will Campbell rank above, say, Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, Walter Nolan, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green, James Pierce? I don't think so. The other part about Campbell, which is interesting, is when you start to see people projecting that he could fall out of the top 10, is that Calvin Banks, the offensive tackle from Texas, who has more of the physical traits that teams want to see in an offensive lineman or an offensive tackle. You see you see him being pushed up the board a little bit, whereas Campbell, it seems to be split because of the arm length, whether he is a guard or a tackle. And I don't think that teams would be taking Campbell in the top 10 if they view him as a guard. Part of his value in this draft would be being able to take what he did at LSU at left tackle and convert that over to the pro level. Now, he could start off his career. Some of these guys could start off their careers as guards, and then a team can get them in the building, have them starting at guard. And then when that opening, let's just say for the 49ers, if that opening arises or when that opening arises here in the next year or two or however long with Trent Williams moving on, then that could be a transition where somebody goes and goes from inside to outside. So those are kind of the two of the wild cards in this draft. Two guys that have always been considered, top 5, 6 picks in this draft who could still be there when the 49ers select at 11. Um, Maybe in a little bit, I'll give you another video talking about my 7 round mock draft that I just posted, where what I did with the 49ers is defensive tackle round 1, defensive end, pass rusher round 2. But just thought I would um, give you my opinion on if Graham and Campbell were to fall out of the top 10. I think the 49ers would be more inclined to take Mason Graham than Will Campbell. And I would think that they would want to take Mason Graham, and that would set up very well for them. Just a proven guy who's played at a high level, has a high running motor, and can step in and be an immediate contributor and an immediate starter on the 49ers defensive line. So that's my early look here, Thursday morning, hours before the start of the NFL draft. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And that is it for now.